Hello traders, John at StockBookie.com. Today we're looking at the USO, the UUP, the GLD, and the TLT. We follow the daily, weekly, monthly time frames. We use technical analysis here at StockBookie.com. Let's go to the USO daily chart, 31 million, 8 cents up, and still in this lower range, guys, below the MAs. Weak stance, setting up in a bearish pattern for possible lower prices. Next area to watch is 850, 819, and then 766 double bottom. Right now, I would think we get a little retrace at this point, but let's see what happens here. I want to stick, let's do this. So we did get below that trend line here too. We had this one in here. So we had a channel coming in to the downside now. So channel. So through there, we closed pretty, we're going to see more evidence next week on what's going to happen on this daily chart. They need to get this thing back above this area, fill the gap, and come back to the 20 MA and see what happens. If this thing sets up down here, we're setting up for lower prices, in my opinion. Weekly chart, same thing. Good area of support, guys. We're right at the 750 retrace. There's that trend line down here, holding it on the weekly. So let's see what happens next week if we start going sideways, or maybe we get a good bounce up into this area again for the retrace, and maybe another shorting opportunity possibly. So I still like lower prices before I go long, but we'll see what happens next week, how it sets up with the pattern. Let's look at the UUP. UUP, guys, on the weekly chart, I'll start with that one. Down sideways, guys. Great bearish pattern. 5 weeks now into the into this. Let's see if we go another couple weeks. Let this 20 MA possibly curl down in the price, and I still think down here, guys, 23.97 to 23.80, and then you could possibly touch 23.29. So we'll see how it comes down. You got the 200 moving average. This is the bigger time frame, guys. So this can come through and, you know, overshoot and then come back up. Still a weekly time frame. Kind of like this. It went up, and then at the end of the week, it came right back in and caused that tail. Let's go to the daily chart. Daily chart still bearish, down in this lower channel here, just like this, down sideways, down sideways. We did pop up, couldn't get above this line, chopping around here above the MA, so still an okay stance. We're not below all the moving averages, and chopping around in a slight micro bullish pattern, macro bear, little bit bullish coming into here above the 20 MA. Still some big resistance up here. Support, you have a couple areas, but if this thing starts to slide, I still think we're coming down here to the 23.80 to 24 area. So we'll keep an eye on this one. Let's see if this pattern works out. If it does not play out, then look for this trend line breakout above the 200 for higher prices. But right now, setting up for lower. Let's see what happens in going into next week, and see if the volume keeps rolling light. And these markets are very, very interesting lately, guys. GLD, nice 3-day move up, 51 cents on the day. Did not recapture the 20 or the 50 MA, but still holding the 200. So nice 3-day rip or 2-day rip, and back into resistance, guys, which at bottom of this big red bar, that's going to be good resistance, the 50 MA. But we'll see what it does next week. Does it set up sideways now, slightly bullish, or does it stay in this lower range, chop around, waiting to set up for next, the next wave down? We still have this trend line, guys. That's a big one. If that cracks, lower prices to come. See if what happens. Again, 50-50 shot. I still think we come up into this area and try to make a run to get it above the MAs and this trend line. Watch for a gap up, guys, on Monday maybe. That's a lot of resistance to deal with, and sometimes if they don't want to deal with it, they'll gap it up. So watch for that on gold, the GLD on Monday. Still bullish on this one. So again, we're up. We're kind of just chopping, a slight bullish, still inside this bar, slightly bearish, but could go either way, guys. We get above this trend line, we could get a breakout, maybe shoot right up into the 130 area. If this fails and this trend line cracks, gosh, we could go back down to 107 easily. Let me put this one in there too, or this trend line here. Where's that, around 110 or so? So yeah, we even have that, so that's good. We're in this thing from the 110.50 area, and doing good. Took half off on this up move, trying to get one more push up to sell the last half, and then we might even go short on gold. We'll see. We'll see when the time comes. And right now, nothing wrong. Trying to get back above the MAs, even on the weekly chart. So we'll see what happens next week on the Friday close. All right, let's go into the TLT, guys. TLT, we've been in this channel for the last 5-6 months or so, 7 months. Chop, chop, chop. We're starting to break above it, guys. We did close above it last Friday, and we did close above it today as well. Good momentum, guys. I want to see more volume for a more, a push up. Levels I'm watching: 130.75, 133.56, 139.14. Let's see how this thing reacts. I'd like to see more consolidation before it moves up, but let's see, like everything else, all of a sudden we just get rocket ships, guys. So let's keep an eye on the TLT. Big red bar. That's going to be big resistance. Need more volume if it wants to push up through that. That's on the weekly chart, though. So next week, let's see if we close up higher. Then maybe we do go into the 618.750. Got to keep an eye on this big area here, or do we just click over and come right back in? So something to watch on this. We have another trend line connecting these. So if we start filling this gap, coming back down towards the MAs, then we'll have to keep an eye on this one on the TLT. That's the weekly, though. Bigger time frame. Takes a little more time to play out. Now the daily, it's showing a little bit of bullish pattern. We're still above the MAs here, starting to take off. And we gapped up over this resistance. That was the high pivot. Now we're coming into the 127.86 and the 127.11. And I believe that's a gap fill. Yeah, and a gap window there. No, gap window, and then the gap fills up here right around the 130 area. So if we continue up, that's going to be the next big area of resistance, as well as the 133.56 and the 139, 140-ish area. So watch for that. Let's see if we can continue to break out. Back to the weekly. If that comes right back in, then we'll have to watch for lower prices, or it gets back in this channel and maybe it goes to the lows and then starts chopping up and down again. But overall, too, down sideways, guys. It's trying to break out here to see if we could get above the gap window and the gap fill. That will be big for the TLT. All right, guys, that's it for today. Thanks for stopping by, watching my videos. I really do appreciate it. Go to my site, StockBookie.com. Sign up, guys. It's free. Thanks again. I really do appreciate it. God bless. See you on the charts.